All right. Everything looks good. Looks like we're all set here. There's Op4 spawn, which is a group called Five Eyes, and we got the European Federation, which is Blue 4 spawning up there on the top left. We also have some members of FNF playing today. Scrolling out in the map to see that, because I saw NAF's marker on there. At least I thought I did. Yeah, we'll see what happens. But let's see, player count-wise, I see Nemesis and NAF. I just can't for the life of me find them right now. Oh, there they are. All right. A few flags of Scandi Recon are in here. Gotcha. And NAFs is in another group called SOF, so I'm not sure if that's the same NAFs I know, but we'll have to see how things go. Let me get the TFAR plugin all set up. Excellent. Alrighty. So, we're letting everyone come in here, and we'll see how things go. Otherwise, welcome. This is another OFCRA One Life PvP mission. Op4, it appears, is going to be mainly on the defense, with Blue 4 being on the offense. We'll go through a player breakdown when we actually jump onto the server here after we get past map. They usually like to have us linger here for 5 or 10 minutes, but there are 5 different ways for either team to score points. Op4 has to defend Laptop Alpha, Bravo, and Charlie. Blue 4 has to capture and interact with either, preferably all of Laptop Alpha, Bravo, and Charlie. This purple zone here, which is on this nice little hill with a little spire on top, has not only a laptop, but it's the purple zone. Okay, let me, 1 second. Hold up. Why is that doing that? Ah, the music didn't loop properly. I love it when YouTube glitches out. Thank you. Really cool. All right. Let me hit the backspace on that. Make sure the music is properly looped. All right. Sorry about that. The purple zone is also a neutral zone. Whoever has control of the purple zone, aka whoever has forces in that scenario, at the end of the mission will score 3 points. And then the supremacy bonus of if you get the other side knocked down to 5 or less players, you get 3 points as well. And that works either or. So 5 different objectives, 5 different ways to score 3 points each. Op4 is the defensive faction here, so if you are more of a defensive player, bet Op4. If you believe in the attackers, bet Blue 4. Looking at the player count here, since he just said 7 minutes is how long we're going to spend in the selection screen. Honestly, the sides look pretty even. All things considered, you got good pockets of Op4 and Blue 4, so it might be a 50-50 split. Maybe slightly more on Blue 4, but I mean, you got a big chunk of Op4, big chunk of Blue 4, good amounts of Op4 there, and then going down, it looks a little more on Blue 4, but it's still pretty even, so it might be on either side here. But Blue 4, European Union kit, so I would assume we might see some British or German guns. Really anything European-based is up for grabs. And then a mercenary group called Five Eyes, which is the top left name of the scenario itself. I have no idea. Looks like Flip connected with the raw mod set because he got Fallujah loaded, which is pretty interesting. But otherwise, yeah, we got a few people from FNF here tonight, such as the standard guys we see, such as Syx, Skipu, for example. They're always here week after week, but some newer faces. We have Nemesis on tonight. We have NAFs on tonight. SL Dream is on, and Nordic Prophet, though Nordic has been playing the past few weeks in here just to give it a try. But that is because within a week or two, you will see an OFCRA versus FNF operation, and I will do my best to try to cover it. So this is considered the test stop for it because they're going to be using the same slots within this mission and the next mission as well. So we'll have to see how that thing goes. Globally mute and unmute everyone. Now, some big names to note in OFCRA. You have Ziki on Op4. And Zixme is also on Op4. All right, so usually I see those guys on opposite teams because those two I would consider are some of, if not the best of the best players within OFCRA. So Op4 having a nice advantage there. I'd love to see what either of them do. Ziki went ham last week. Got a lot of kills, and I think the week before that also did pretty well. Nafs is going to be on blue 4 here. And I'm trying to see, where's Nemesis? Nemesis is also going to be blue 4. Okay. Manchote, head honcho of OFCRA, he is going to be under Op 4 as well. Trying to scroll all the way down here. I'm just going to go from bottom to top. Brisbo, Rigel, Royd, Camper, really good players on Op 4 there. Sayak is going to be blue 4. Pogo on blue 4. PHK, another high-ranking member within OFCRA, is going to be Op 4. Nubas, one of my personal favorites, with Nordic Prophet, both going to be on Op 4. Lemur, Murdy on Op 4. Hippie on Op 4, another high-ranking member of OFCRA, at least in the structure. Back to the house, Logic, Flip for Flap, Fleesh, 3 really good players as well. Cheeseburger on blue 4. Bob Winchester and Brewer are here as well. 2 really good players on Op 4 as well. A lot of units I'm seeing on Op 4 today. Not to discount the other communities, like FAWR is a pretty good one. They're on Op 4 too. McAllen's on blue 4. He's a good player as well. All right. Just going back and forth here. But I feel like the roster is a little stacked on Op 4's favor tonight. I'm not sure if players like Nemesis and Nafs are going to be able to turn that around, but we'll see how that goes. Could go either way. Pan-European, I would assume, is something like NATO or United Nations. But we won't know until we load in, which isn't going to be for another 2 minutes. I am spectating and commentating. That's why it says commentator POV. You don't really Zeus in PvP. Rather, you're just given a spectator slot and you're like, you're allowed to watch. Personally, when it comes to PvP, I prefer this role. I'm not the best at PvP. Well, no, that's a lie. I would say I'm good at PvP, but when you play Arma 3 PvP, you have to really work as a team, and I can't really stand a PvP game where the person above me doesn't know how to maneuver us or do anything, and everyone has a lot of different skill levels within Arma 3, and that's something that I just I get annoyed about. But, I mean, in Coalition 7, CCO 7, excuse me, I did pretty well for my own standards. I kept getting behind people and just murdering entire squads. And then I'd pick up one of their guns and disguise my weapon PID. That was pretty fun. That was pretty damn fun. I wanted to get into the latest CCO, but it's on a date where I think I'm going to have something else going on, unfortunately. So I'll try to get in on the next one. But that's the thing about Arma 3 PvP, because it's not just raw skill. It also is a lot of how the commanders act, how the squad leaders maneuver units. That's why communities, for example, in FNF are really, really different. What makes a good community in Friday Night Fights is just how aggressive they can be. So Scandi Recon, Coalition, 29th ID, and Papega Pirates, not in that order of skill level, I was just naming them, are really, really good because they know how to do that maneuvering. But the reason Papega Pirates I rank higher than the 29th ID, for example, 29th ID I say is the 4th best community. Papega Pirates I would say is the 2nd best, but only by a slim margin compared to the first placed group of Scandi Recon, is just the level of aggression and maneuverability that they can do within PvP.
There we go, boys. Boots on the ground.
Now you hear all of them getting thrown into the TFAR channel. We are going to be listening to them locally today. Let's go ahead and look at the sides here. But to finish up my last topic, it's just a matter of how well a community, when they bring a squad in, works together and how quick they can react to everything. Because unique about PvP compared to PvE is the AI isn't going to do a lot of reacting, and even if the Zeus is on top of things, the AI still is slow to do stuff. Players can be up in a heartbeat and just immediately attack something if they push hard enough. And that's something you have to really learn, and you can only learn by fighting other people, you know? Otherwise, Blue 4, the Pan-European forces are going to be... Whoa, okay. We have a big mix of shit. All right, so... What the fuck? Okay, so we have a lot of different guns here. We had M16 with 320s. We have an RIS with a drum mag. I don't know what that one is, but that's, I think, based off of the mag size, is a... That might be a 7.62. And then we have an MG3 with 50-round barrels. There's another... That's a M16 or HK, but that's a 5.56 Blue 4. And then we have a G36K. So a lot of different weapons here. So damn. So I'd assume that's the auto rifle, and then the machine gun is that MG3. And they have LAV, the vanilla ones with the Badger cannon and whatnot. We also have some scars. Yeah, so Pan-European literally means a giant mix of weaponry. Holy shit, alright. That's some pretty good stuff overall, in my opinion. 416s, yeah, that's what I figured. I would argue Arma is definitely worth buying, but I'll get to that in a second. Let me just finish breaking these guys down. So, a lot of different weaponry. I'm seeing some ACOGs. The one lack of stuff I'm seeing... Oh. That's disgusting. They gave him a vanilla Titan. So that's basically a futuristic javelin. That's... Wow. Wow. All right, well... Yeah, if it was just the N-Laws, then I'd have to look at OFCRA's vehicles and determine if they were underpowered, but... Yeah, dude with a fucking javelin. All right, that's... And it's NAFs, too. My god. All right, let's look at OFCRA real quick. OFCRA has Vanilla Panders, which are the AAF vehicle, and they have a similar mismatch of weaponry. We see some FN mags, some mini-me's, which are also the 249 Bravo. I'd argue one of the best machine guns in the game in terms of control, but against an MG3, that's a tough call. It's really hard to compare the two because one is just has such great weapon handling. That's the 249, but the fire rate just allows it to murder anything. But that MG3 has a superior fire rate, a little less control, but for building clearing, you could not have a better gun in my opinion. But if they only have those drum magazines, then actually they'd be towards the north. 50 rounds compared to 200 rounds in the 249 or FN Mini-Me is a pretty big difference. But otherwise, AT-wise, I see them with N-Laws as well, which normally I hate the fucking N-Law, but if it's being used against vanilla vehicles, then it absolutely makes sense, and both sides are using vanilla. One thing I'm a little worried about, though, is these things have AGMs. So, or ATGM, anti-tank guided missile. So AGM is air-to-ground missiles. So that was a mispronunciation on my end, but I wonder if they're unscripted. I do see them in here, though. If they were unscripted, they wouldn't be loaded, so OFCRA might have an advantage from the get-go. I'm just wondering if they have a Moz launcher or something. I don't see a dedicated AT team, though. So it might be that's the balance, which still puts OFCRA in a better limelight, but... Yeah, I do not see any AT, but otherwise our group here mainly seeing, again, the FN mags, but a lot of, I forget what this one specifically is, but more Blue 4-based rifles, M16 A4s, or something with a soap mod stock there. But I think these are all M4s, M16s, or HKs. M4 Block 2 Satma, that's what I was thinking of, thank you.
Ouais, et comment ça marche du coup?
Essaye avec le slash numérique.
So Blue 4 has more variation of weaponry, but Op 4 have the superior APC.
No.
Was 4.
No, no replay set.
Yeah, black is 4.
I can't see.
Okay, you're
Alright, one thing I want to look for real quick.
The one on
Alright,
the
so they have, no, that's a CCO site.
waypoint 1. You see it?
it's not much bad.
I'm checking all the weapon sites. I want to see if anyone has a magnified optic. Because I'm not seeing any magnified optics. That's AT. Oh, they have Mark 19. Oh, or Mark 11s. Mark 19 something else. So they've got 20 round DMRs. But otherwise, I don't see any. Okay, no, that is a magnifier. So you can push the magnifier aside, for example. So they do have some magnified optics. I would argue the ACOG is a more superior magnification. So Blue 4 have better ground-based weaponry. So they got slightly better optics. They got a Titan, but Op 4 have the better vehicles. But this is some pretty open area fighting, so that Titan is going to be nasty against Bravo and Charlie, but not necessarily Alpha. Then again, Alpha is a military base. They have added some custom towers to it as well, but damn. All right, so just a reminder over the objectives. This laptop's worth 3 points. Op 4 is to prevent Blue 4 from touching it. The laptop itself is... I actually don't know. All right, it might be hidden. Because I don't see it on the mark. That's pretty funny. All right, so that area is Laptop Alpha, Laptop Bravo. So I'm wondering, maybe the flags indicate the building that it's in. If so, then I'll go and check that battle tower in a second. Yeah, so... Okay. Okay. Brilliant. Let me check the tower real quick. Might just be flags to show the territory. All right, otherwise, Charlie. Charlie's AO I think I like the most. But the only good Overwatch vehicles could easily be sniped by the Titan, so it's just holding the internal perimeter security of this area. Still, that's a pretty funny picture. And then, of course, Charlie's also its own objective, and then you have the supremacy bonus in play. So, real quick, since we have another minute, it's PHK and Bluck leading Op 4. PHK is a very good player. He's one of the head honchos of OFCRA. I think he'll do quite well. Blue 4, meanwhile, is being led by Pogo and Cheeseburger. Again, two of the... Pogo isn't one of the OFCRA administrators, but he is a very good player in his own right. He is one of the commanders you see take things up time and time again. I think Op 4... Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Hold on. We've been bamboozled, ladies and gentlemen. Some of the turrets have disappeared. Leaving only 2. Oh. Because they weren't scripted. Yeah, vehicle simulation and inventory re-enabled, so they... The vehicles weren't scripted yet to run anything to hide their turrets. So Blue 4 has 2 APCs that are armed. Op 4 only has 1. Oh. Oh. Imagine betting on vehicles only to get bamboozled. I'd say now Blue 4 has the advantage. Oh, man. I'm so sorry, guys. That is a game changer. Now do you bet on the thing with the ATGMs or the fact that Blue 4 have double the vehicles? Round has begun. You got a little under 60 seconds to make those final bets. You were catfished. That's gotta suck, guys. I was catfished too. Otherwise, Blue 4 already mounting up. And we'll see what their deployment strategy is. So Blue 4 have more varied weaponry. They have the MG3s, which I would argue are the best machine gun in the game. But compared to Op4's FN Mini-Me's, which is like a 249 with 200-round boxes, it's a very close call. Blue 4 having 2 armed APCs, Op4 only having 1, but that one APC has those ATGMs. Blue 4 has a Titan AT launcher, otherwise both sides have NLAWs. It's tough to consider. Op4 is going to be really spread out, though, in order to cover all these objectives, so Blue 4 might just steamroll. But we'll have to see how things go. Zam, Zicky, and Zixme. Let's take a quick look. Where are they? So Zicky is in MG section Tailbot, and Zixme, he might have renamed himself. Yep, okay. He's right above him, actually, in section Fjord. I don't think they're allowed to ram each other, to be perfectly honest, but we'll see how things go. And otherwise, we'll let these units deploy. 146,000 points in the pot. Nice. Most people are preferring Op4. I agree with that. Op4 with that defender advantage could do quite well. However, they're going to have to be really spread out. I'd imagine they're going to at least defend Charlie because it's an objective in its own right, worth 2/5 of the points in the entire game. And if no side wins supremacy, then at least 50% of the points that are winnable would then be at that position. So I'd say maybe sacrifice Bravo, because that's a pretty big AO, beta, and just go for a light defense on Alpha and a heavy defense on Charlie. But I also see Op4 is planning some maneuvers outside of the zones, planning for some counterattacks. Now, someone asked earlier, is Arma 3 still worth it to buy? I would say 100% yes if you can get it on a sale. Get Arma 3, get it with Apex, and I would get it with the Global Mobilization DLC as well, because there's a lot of communities out there that have that as a requirement. Apex is a requirement for almost every community out there as well. And at that point, you could stop. If you like sci-fi stuff, I'd also recommend the Contact campaign. But Arma is one of those games like Gary's Mod or Minecraft where you have to spend the time to find a place that you like first. But if you can make that investment, you can get your time back. And then some. A lot of people I know like to always figure out, you know, if they're going to pay $60 for a AAA game, how many hours of enjoyment are they going to get out of it? And they run a cost calculation based off of that. Arma, I would say you're going to get a lot out of it, but you got to put in the time. But it can be quite fun. Anything that anyone tells you specifically about Arma, though, of like saying, oh, it's boring because we had to wait around to doing 2 hours doing nothing, blah, 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 I would say just avoid the communities there and then, you know? But Arma, you can do whatever you want at this point. I mean, the other day, I literally had 20 players. I spawned them all in as emus, and I had them murder Australians for 30 minutes. It was just a non-stop massacre. And I thought that was one of the funniest things I've ever done. But they all enjoyed it. The other day, we were doing our RUF campaign where we're pretending to be the Rebel United Front in Sierra Leone and committing great war crimes. That was pretty fun. We recently did an SCP campaign where we fought a bunch of mutants, which honestly are derivatives of the Flood from Halo when you think about it. It's a necroplague. And in a few months, we will have Flood models, and I will be doing a Flood campaign. There's just so much in the modding aspect of everything. And that's why you buy Arma. It's for the mods. Similar experience you'd get from any Bethesda game. You buy the game for the mods. Yes, and we'll have Deathclaws, though I'm not supposed to talk about that one. That's one where I was yelled at for it, because that one's unconfirmed, quote-unquote. That just means it's going to be further down the chain. But things I can publicly say is we will have more Emu models come out. We will have Flood models come out. We'll have more Alien models for Optray come out. And then after that, we might see the Deathclaws and a few other things. Also, he's coming out with more Necrophage mutants. That's all I can say about it. He wants to keep that one a little closer to the chest, but it's some good stuff. Some pretty good shit. But there's not really any other game out there. No, I mean, you could do it with Gary's mod. That's the only one I can really think of, though. Where you could have a game where you play World War II today, tomorrow you play Vietnam, the next day you play Warhammer 40k, the day after that you fight Xenomorphs as Colonial Marines, the day after that you do Halo stuff as Master Chief and his merry band of Spartans murdering elites high and low. And then the day after that, you have a zombie apocalypse op where you have to loot buildings and survive and stay away or work with other players. Just the variability of this game is, I'm going to be honest, second to none. You can get it from other games, but not at the same level, not at the same experience. But the only thing that prevents you from getting there is either finding the communities that do it, or, as an individual, putting the time into those events in the first place. You won't get bored. The only reason you'll get bored is if you join a community that does the same exact thing every week. And a lot of communities are like that, but, I mean, just to name some on the top of my head, Remy's community with Acadian XX, they do a lot of various things. My community in TSB, we do a lot of various things. And we do it completely two separate ways. TSB is heavy with Zeusing. Remy's with Acadian XX is mostly all just scripted missions. And, you know, most people have a preference. And that's why both of our communities have so many people. Some people like it one way, some people like it other. But again, a lot of it is you just figuring out what you like and going with it. If you want something specific like Warhammer 40k, you got the 700th Acadian. If you want a specific Halo unit, I'd recommend Sorenzic's first MEU. And I can't believe I'm saying that, but it's actually a pretty good unit. Trying to think what else. It just depends on what you want. Like, I know so many different groups in this game that do so many niche things. One of my favorite niche things that people do, though, is the SCP stuff. Like, the people that have to literally, like, make a new SCP every week and then build, like, a 2-hour op around it, those people are always the people I like to talk to, because the creativity they have to do to keep that fresh is just absolutely ludicrous. Yeah, and then Arma does have a lot of good single-player scenarios and campaigns, and you can find a lot of single-player scenarios on the workshop, too. Specifically, horror stuff is really good. Anything made by a guy called the Paramedic, for example. Really top-notch stuff, because he gets heavy into scripting, too. And he likes to utilize all of the newest mods that are coming out, like Devour King's Necrophage stuff. Otherwise, let's get back to the action here. I am hearing some shots. That was some autocannon fire. I don't know if that was by Blue Fours or Op Fours. I'm checking the vehicles now. We got 2 APCs back here on reserve. I think those are just both of Blue Four's leader elements there. We got Op 4 and a forward defensive line here with their APC. You can still hear that fire occasionally. It might be this one. Nope. This one's in cover. These guys are taking fire from somewhere. So they're all getting down. Is it this one? Yes, it is. All right, so it's this APC firing up at that hill where they see fortifications. No one has been killed just yet. I'm going to go ahead and tab myself out just to mute myself, because when people die, we hear them locally, and nothing is more funny than me randomly commentating, someone getting their head blown off in a corner, and then while I'm speaking, you hear, "God damn it," you know, just in the background. That always gives me a laugh. Op 4 doesn't really have a sniper team. They're all just in squads. You got leadership back there. Blue 4's leadership, we just saw them both in an individual APC in the back line. But the only support asset I would say that's out in the field right now are the armed APCs and Op 4's Titan launcher. But I always, back to the previous topic, I always encourage people, even if they find one community, like a lot of people, they join TSB and they tell me they love it. I tell them, hey, you might love it, but go try other stuff too. Also, avoid any community that says you're not allowed to join other communities. That, unless you really like the place, you'll eventually get bored of it. But if you go out and you try a lot of different things, then you'll see what you do, in fact, really, really like or really, really don't like. You know? But, yeah, no, communities that they have, what is it? They have, it's called a dual clanning rule. You're not allowed to join another group that does the same type of stuff we do. And admittedly, one of the groups I work for, the 506, they have that rule. But they only have it for generic milsims. Star Sims have that rule too, which I think is kind of dumb, because... But at least nowadays, with groups that have that type of stuff, they still allow you to come in from a different unit to play their fun ops, which is where a lot of the variation itself happens. Any mortars? Neither side have any mortars. Yeah, exactly. The world's your oyster. Don't lock yourself just to one thing. That's why I in TSB do try my best to vary everything I do. So, like, you know, week after week in the 4 ops I Zeus in TSB a week on average, I always try to make sure there's something different going on. So... Ooh, little power surge there. My lights just flickered. Or there's a ghost. I'm about to get murdered on stream. One of the two. But... one of the biggest issues that I find in Arma 3 itself is just people get stagnant and everything gets boring if you're doing the same thing over and over again. That's why people that have been playing for years sometimes drop off for a while and come back, is because they get bored of that repetition. Anyway, enough about that. Let's go back to covering the round. So this APC has come around. It's still checking out that hill. Potentially getting tunnel vision. We got some OPFOR players here, but they don't have any AT to take care of light AT, light AT squad Debussy. Which is named after a famous, I don't want a composer, that's the better word. So they've actually eliminated 2 OPFOR players already with that IFV. Well, no, technically an armed APC. We do have this vehicle over here, though. It is trying to scan for that APC. It could easily take it out with an AGM. And if this group isn't careful, since it has 7 people in it, that could be an entire squad wipe for Light AT Squad Debussy. But anyway, they took out Rigel, who was a leader in the marksman section here, and Kinisatus. Kinian Atus. I cannot pronounce, I'm sorry. So we see that APC flank a little more around. It might be able to take things out. By the way, you could use the term APC and IFV interchangeably for these two because they both have an autocannon. Usually APCs are like BTRs or 113s where they only have like a machine gun to cover themselves, but anything with an actual autocannon you could also consider an IFV. APC, armored personnel carrier, IFV, infantry fighting vehicle. But, you know, a lot of times IFVs can also transport people. We got a long-range GL round going out here. I don't know if that's... Oh, it's a Hunt IR camera. All right, so OPFOR is trying to do some local recon here to see if they can spot any Blue 4 approaches coming in. So they might be able to see this group coming in here. Why are troops still in the vehicle? I think because they're just trying to be mobile right now. We see some more fire going down. I was trying to determine if it was on this APC or not. But yeah, when both sides have APCs with you know, 20mm autocannons and shit, usually you don't want to put them up on the hills because they'll just get picked off. Unless they have some form of long-range AT, but even then they have to expose themselves a little bit to get the lock. But I think these guys are still mounted because they're trying to encircle Laptop Alpha because they just want to sweep and clear every laptop position so they can overwhelm the force here. This group out here is going to have a really tough time. because Blue 4 is coming from the west, and they're also going to be flanking from the east in a moment. So this group could just get encircled by Blue 4 players, taken out, before Blue 4 then pushes on to engage here. So this light AT section is going to have to do a really good job of at least getting some positive KD ratios to at least hurt Blue 4 in terms of attrition for them to go position to position, because I doubt this one group is going to be able to survive the onslaught of the entirety of Blue 4 from the looks of it. When you have plays like these, your best bet as the defender is to just kill as much as you can. Send your forces out, do some elaborate flanking, find out where the enemy's coming from, and either preemptively push one side to get some distance from the other, or pull back and try to reinforce from a better angle. Now, these guys don't know about this Blue 4 group right here, and I think this Blue 4 group's actually going to get stuck on this position, which will allow this position to engage here, and I think OFCRA is going to have a better advantage there. In PvP, especially if it's one life, your best bet in playing is to make sure you can always have the number advantage against a force to more quickly wipe them and then move on. However, the risk of that is if you have a really good player on the enemy side, he could kill like half of you and not even die because he just has that skill. So you got to make sure your players are close enough to be... What is this guy shooting at? I'm worried he might have just sniped one of the OPFOR leaders here. You got to keep your forces together, essentially. But not too close, otherwise a single grenade will kill them all or whatnot. So PHK, that was his APCs, baiting it out to have an autocannon fire at it. Heard some gunfire back here, not sure where that was landing. And you got Blue 4 dismounting the forces here. These guys are a little out of position, though, probably because they're worried about that force on the hill. However, if Blue 4 wanted to totally wipe this one area, they should have both IFVs in position to overwatch this area. So I think that IFV is going to try to hit that position, then go on an overwatch point and snipe whoever they can in this one area. The best defensive suicidal charge. This isn't the Kriegsman in Warhammer 40k. I love how this guy's taken 2 morphine before his fight. That's Zixme for you. So he doesn't get pain knocked. AKA he can take a lot of bullets before actually going down. If you really understand Ace Medical, you can take a lot of medication beforehand and then become a lot more tanky, which is pretty funny. So Settler trying to put some shots out. You're having this one-on-one fight here, but you are starting to see some of Blue 4 trying to shoot on the rear of OPFOR elements here. That's starting to make OPFOR turn around. I don't think we're going to see a push, though, because this group here might be able to get on the second story and cut Blue 4 off, but it's really hilly up here. Blue 4 might be able to go around, take out this one group. But look at what OPFOR is doing. That 3-man group that was all the way over there is now starting to fold in. Might be able to ambush this group on the rear and take them out and then allow OPFOR to continue the sweep. I think this first firefight is going to determine the winner at this rate. Whoever comes out on top is going to really set the precedent to who's going to win the match overall. Zixme disconnected. Was he already taken out? He was in this group. Oh, he might have gotten picked off by the APC. That's unfortunate. Usually one of the best players here, unfortunately just caught in an open area and taken out. I'd say the best OPFOR player would be Zicky then, who is in a Vic, and they're doing a massive reposition. I don't know if this is an elaborate flank or if they're just lost, but Blue 4 having the number advantage on this fight, but that could quickly change if these 3 OPFOR players come in time. So right now we have a little bit of a stalemate. OPFOR doesn't have see any reason to move because they're trying to maneuver these 3 guys in. So what's making Blue 4 slow down? We see this group coming around over here, so I got to imagine they might be sending stuff over. No! They have the heavy AT squad, the guys with the Titan, going on an elaborate flank here. That is Not what I would have done. I would have kept those guys in the back line on reserve hunting for the enemy IFV. So Blue Force trying to attack this position while they're engaging that squad. I think they're trying to engage a little too much right now, where they should just be trying to piecemeal OPFOR where they find them. Because now what you're going to have OPFOR do is they're going to piecemeal Blue 4. So OPFOR has a little bit of a better strategy right now. Yeah, and this force is coming around. They're going to flank on the northern side and piecemeal these groups as well, because I think OPFOR knows there's a force right here because they heard gunfire from it earlier. And you have one of OPFOR's leads right here moving in. Might be able to spot that group, might not, but he's trying to come over here to get local control. But I think OPFOR is in a better boat right now to win this one. It's just going to depend on how quickly that group can move in and how well these three guys do in engagement. It's Bob, Winchester, Bluck, and Parthius. Three really good players where they're on the when they're on the offensive. And Blue 4 does not have a single guy watching the rear, and they're clumped up in two groups. They are starting to separate, though, which is going to give them a better survivability chance once the bullets start flying. These guys engaging one group, the other group can turn around and quickly flank it and still have a numbers advantage. It's a tough call either way. IFVs are... I don't know where the northern Blue 4 one went. You got the southern one down here. No, it completely repositioned. So you got both Blue 4 IFVs here and the OPFOR IFV down there. I think they were both ordered down there because that other IFV that was already there noticed the OPFOR IFV and called for backup. OPFOR slowly starting to come in here. There's the ambush. Two guys knocked unconscious. These three guys immediately turning around and engaging. Bob getting the first official kill. Grenade thrown out in that direction. Bluck was knocked out. Bob quickly getting behind a palm tree there to cover himself from that other group. OPFOR doing some smokes here. AT fired it short. Bob able to knock out Mitchus. Great ambush there by OPFOR. And that has allowed pressure for OPFOR to pull back instead of press the attack. So this was a sacrifice play by OPFOR to move a superior force back, but... Interesting call. Damex gets knocked out by Bob Winchester. Parthius chilling in the reeds right now, a little wounded. You got Bob. He was being shot at by Duck here. Barth, I think, heard the gunshot over him. That startled him. He could get up and knock Settler out, though. I don't see Primo and Jeff waking up either. So this attack has done really, really well. OPFOR mounting to their APC, still pulling back. I mean, forming a bigger defensive here is a great strategy, but why are you pushing the AT team as your first force into here? That's a really dumb idea, because that's a really powerful asset to have. Because if you don't at least hit the vehicle with it, you could use it to snipe individual infantry. Opinion on Eggnog? I've never had it, so I actually wouldn't be able to tell you. I'm sorry to say. So you got Blue 4 all the way back here with the MG3s. They're trying to fire. They are receiving some accurate marksman fire in retaliation, though. Some grenades are being thrown out here. I think OPFOR knows about this Blue 4 advance here. You might have PHK get behind this Blue 4 attack and start hitting them on the rear. A smaller version of what's happened up there. Smoke popped right here. Parthius is trying to medic Bluck back up. I don't know if he's a medic because we don't see any unit symbolism other than officers. But Bob Winchester's come up and got a nice double kill. Sees Duck go in the animation. And these three have pretty much wiped out all but one unit on that 8-man attack. Unfortunately, PHK was spotted as he came up and taken out after he tried to eliminate Naps with that AT weapon. And now you're having some sporadic shots going out here on Alpha. But OPFOR have redeployed that one group, and they're now going to sweep around back here. And I think they know it. They start immediately taking shots. They're going to have to pull back. Again, OFCRA is piecemealing Blue 4's forces here. Oh, but now you got an APC taking fire from one of the IFVs. That's what we'll call. We'll call the unarmed ones the APCs and these ones the IFVs. So these IFVs are startling OFCRA, forcing them to pull back. Looks like the IFVs don't have any HE rounds, but that AP will insta-tap people. Nordic trying to get his AT out. Not enough. OFCRA is going to be forced to pull back here. Very devastating play there. Got a grenade thrown out here. I think it's going to detonate just short of Bob. That would be Mikkel. Yep, it's Mikkel's IFE up here that was able to get that. Debussy's squad. What a nasty keyhole there. Some great hiding use of that foliage there to conceal the Vic. Parthius has dragged him in there. The IFV now firing into this building. That IFV's AP rounds will be able to pen this area here. Hippie, meanwhile, has gotten on the corner. He's got a mini-me, aka a 249, doing considerable damage, but landing no kills. Nemesis getting headshotted as he tried to peek that corner. Unfortunately taken out. IFV still firing. That's a really dangerous place to be in right now. And now OFCRA is still going to push that advance. So they have taken some pretty heavy casualties, but I'd argue Blue 4 has taken more. OFCRA, meanwhile, the northern group has come around. I completely forgot about them. And they're starting to attack Blue 4's right side. So Blue 4's attack has completely fallen apart here. And OFCRA is on the upper hand. Ziki leading the charge. Just heard some AT get fired. That knocked out Parthius as he was trying to medic up Bluck. But Bob Winchester fires his AT in response. Oh, I think Settler ran out of ammo. Bob Winchester just popped a fresh mag, but he's crippled. He's gonna go prone, try to hide from Settler, but Settler wants his revenge. Bob tries to roll away, and Settler manages to knock out the 3 guys that took out his squad. Excellent. Great revenge play there. You got NASA covering that corner. So here's the deal. If OFCRA captures that AT weapon, I think they're going to be able to easily take out the remaining 2 IFVs. Counter everything from there. Explosions going off. You got Vexen throwing some grenades. That's going to hit Ziki. Knocks him to his feet. Oh, God, and they're pushing. Nas pushing. Manages to go a 1-for-1 trade there. Firing on NASA as he pushes into Fresh Magazine. Knocks out Nafs. Tries to go for the double cure on Semper. And NASA gets knocked out. AT in the open. And you still hear that IFV firing onto this position. Vexen knocking out Sixor. Both sides still have a good chunk of force in reserve, but opt for edging out the victory here. What round is this? It's OFCRA. We only do 1 round. There was one time where they were going to do 2, but they also had tech difficulties, and I wasn't able to cover it that week. So Vex has completely flanked around, doing his best to solo this. We still have some Blue 4 players right here, but OFCRA have that superior number because of how the infantry have folded. Looking at the skull count here, Blue 4, they've still got 1, 2 full elements here, and then some partials. But OFCRA, 1, 2, 3... They got 3 full elements and then some partials as well. You know, plus or minus a skull. So Blue 4 at this point, they need to have some players get really heavy on the PvP. We need to see Settler continue on that fight. We need to see Semper hold on to that AT weapon, at least just to hide it somewhere for now. NASA bleeds out. But if Semper could get in here and get a good breach, kill off a few OPFOR guys, at least before he dies, at least take 2 or 3 guys out, allow a window for these blue 4 guys to push him before this OPFOR group comes in to reinforce, or if Vex can continue to harass this group, that would put blue 4 in a better light here, but I just realized I think Ziki went down as well. Yeah, he went up here and got taken out, unfortunately. Now, we might see blue 4 try a wide flank here and go for Charlie. Just because one side is getting their butts kicked doesn't mean they're out. We might see a rush with this group to get up to Charlie, take the laptop and that position. That's 2/5 of the points. 6 out of the 15. They could still turn it around. So OPFOR spotted some of blue 4's movements here. We saw some pot shots. Wise Vex might try to make a play here. I don't see any OPFOR medics going here. Actually, no, it might have been Martel here was the medic. That's why I have a lot of bandages down. And then I'll have to go out and help Sixor. But that puts him in Vex's sight lines. So they're firing out over here. What's over there? Charlie? I can only imagine they're firing up at Charlie, but those rounds are going way up. So it means they're firing at something uphill, which I guess the only thing could be Charlie. 337 to 180. So yeah, no, they're firing at Charlie's position, but Charlie isn't held by any OPFOR at the moment. And now you have OPFOR repositioning that marksman team. They're going to head into the facility as well, realizing that blue 4 is going for this position in particular. Sixor just bled out. And Vex still being incredibly cautious here. Trying to see where OPFOR is going to poke their heads out. But I'd imagine blue 4 is entirely in disarray right now. But now blue 4 has to make the decision on the command level. Do they keep attacking Alpha and hope that they can break what's left and push to something else after? Or do they reposition and try to attack a different sector, thinking OPFOR is held by too much? At this rate, if I've taken this level of casualties, I'd just announce a full pullback and we'd attack a different position at that point. We just had some IFV shots land north. I can only imagine that is still that one vehicle firing into this one position. Time check wise, this has only been going for 33 minutes, 1/3 of the time. Both sides have taken a pretty high amount of casualties here. So I want to see what Semper tries. He's going to try to go through the entrance. There are some openings in the barbed wire where you could crawl in from a different angle. And it looks like Vex has decided to pull back on his own, not wanting to breach that position. Maybe because he didn't see any movement coming out of this compound. He thought maybe they knew that he was there and they were trying to camp him out. Which, you know, as one person, you never want to attack a position defended by multiple people by yourself. Because, you know, half of them could just be hiding in random corners somewhere. And they'll see your gun before you see them and, you know, they'll be able to pre-fire. So it looks like blue 4 might try to rush this group over to take Charlie, but they're going to bring this group in to take Alpha. I think at this rate, having both IFVs commit to Charlie would be a better call. Not because I know that OPFOR doesn't have anything here, but because this is the objective worth double the points of any other because of the purple zone. I would then risk one IFV to go hit Bravo. Because that would mean OPFOR would then have to go on the offense, getting the prompt that Charlie's been hacked so they know blue 4 is coming in, and that would give them a better chance. Looks like Vex is now coming in on his own on this corner. But at least OPFOR doesn't know that that AT weapon's right there. Oh, this Vic is going to start sniping people. So OPFOR sending forces in, and that IFV is now intercepting OPFOR players trying to trickle in from the south. Does Garrett have AT? He does not. He's going to be an open sitting duck. That's not the best angle. He kind of sticks out like a sore thumb. IFV is about to cross his line. What the heck happened there? Oh. So I think Vex just came in. There was an explosive trap right here, and it just detonated, killing that IFV. And now Blue 4 is planning the rest, trying to push in the rest of their forces here. You got Debussy coming in the back. Now, with a nice pincer maneuver here, Blue 4 might stand a good chance in taking this objective. They were able to slow down the marksman team that was coming in from the south, and this force is still camped up to the north. Blue 4, if they maneuver quickly here, might have a good chance. See, Dark Neo, though, he's focusing on targets away from him. Good to cover his flank. Blue 4 starting to vault in here. See, some guys are getting keyholed and taken out. Blue 4 might be able to turn this around, but they need to have only minimal casualties. Still got one group in reserve over here. Grab him by Debussy. I love it. If he just tried to fire above, not sure if he scored anything. Blue 4 is now being cautious as they move up here. Semper's still right here. Don't know what he's waiting on. I guess he's checking the outskirts, making sure he's not getting flanked. Maybe he thinks that's an enemy IFV because of the engine noise. And then Blue 4 commanders are starting to get even closer to this 1 AO. Baku's battle buddy just got taken out by snakes. We just had 2 Blue 4 guys get taken out by Hippie in a crossfire. Baku taking out one of these guys as well. Dan trying to hit Mr. Dave, but he's quickly suppressed by Lemur's GL. And, ooh, Skibber finding a great flank spot from the tower and knocking Sweet unconscious. This might have just turned around because that was the entirety of the Southern Blue 4 group. Op4 was able to have enough time to turn around, completely take care of that group, and now they only have one group to deal with. So the pincer wasn't properly pressed. And now Op4 is looking more like they're going to survive this. And Blue 4, even if they win this fight, they're going to take casualties, and they might not have enough to continue. I just heard AT fire, hits the IFV, and causes a flame out. Oh god, these dudes are on fire. Oh my god. Stop, drop, and roll, guys. He's got to put the fire out, otherwise he's going to keep getting wounded. Oh my god, we'll see if they survive. Blue 4's main force starting to come in. It's pretty even with Op4. We need to see reinforcements get brought in. It looks like Brewer got back up, but we need to see these remaining forces come in. Yeah, they scream when they're lit on fire. Being on fire is a very painful thing, guys. All right, looks like the fire ran out. Yeah. One of those crazy things Ace added. Ezio trying to keyhole Hippie, but he's able to get back in time. He then takes fire from Ethan. Quickly gets suppressed. Settler trying to go in, misses his shots, and Lemur's able to take him out. Great grenade throw. Unfortunately, it's a smoke. Dark Neo also unconscious. Grenade thrown up there. That's going to be up to Hippie. Not close enough. Fragmentation only goes over his head, but it looks like Ezio was able to take out Lemur there. Baku trying to get up here, gets a great flank, and takes out Ezio. Got some Op4 guys firing high. Skipper's spot. I don't see him alive, so I think he was taken out. Some shots going on Barros. But Baku coming around, making sure Settlers cleared out. Numbers are looking pretty even. Here's some double taps on, not Settler's body, the other guy. That might have been Semper. Blue 4 still has one squad in reserve, but I think this is Op4's game to lose at this point. There's the double tap, and his AT launcher. Geez, I didn't know humans kicked around so violently and spewed their guns around when they were shot in the face. Good God. I guess he was a swimmer. 3 guys out here, 3 guys, excuse me, in the compound, 2 on the outskirts that were lit on fire. One of them died. I have no idea what took him out. I think he bled out. So it's a 5v 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But Op4 has more forces pushing in. You might see the 2 commanders get a flank on the northern side of these guys, but I don't know. I think this is going to get wrapped up soon. We still got that 1 squad to the south. I don't know. So we have a longer range engagement here. Garrett got hit a few times. He's trying to roll back into a position of cover. Still getting keyholed here. I think his leg's getting hit. But yeah, because of the medical animation, he'll be able to roll into cover to bandage himself. So you got Stadler here trying to flank around on the southern side, since he's seen how this area has fallen apart here itself. He is immediately headshotted by Cyrus because he decided to go prone, exposing his face, and was able to get shot by that second story. Fortunately, picking the wrong place to duck and cover after he heard those gunshots. Every Blue 4 guy taken out just nails that. Oh! Cyrus getting a little overzealous, and he gets a double kill, except it's on his team. Well, you know, I guess everyone's just a little bloodthirsty today. Hippie came around, killed a guy, and then gets blown the frickety frack away by Barros. All right, welcome to Arma 3 PvP, where anything can happen. Ah, man. Red on red. People getting blown away. Little ragdoll animation glitches. The whole 9 yards. Bro, stop! Stop it! That's your teammate! Cyrus, you've killed 3 of your own dudes! Calm the fuck down! Blood for the Bloodwing. Yeah, I guess. Barrow's taken out. And now these guys on an open hill here trying to dodge a machine gun. Now they're in cover. But now Blue Lead has gotten behind them and have completely flanked the guys on the roof here. Now, if Falcon was playing this round, he would have been on Op4, he would have been part of that group, and he would have been shot by Cyrus, let's be honest. All right, the remnants of Debussy coming in. Even then, I mean, this is what we have left at this point. Oh, they hunted down, eliminated the, the Op4 IFV, and now they have it mounted too. Funny. This is only like 3 people, so that was just a dedicated IFV group. Interesting. All right, so Blue Lead might be able to continue picking guys off. Cyrus killing 3 of his reinforcements, and now the numbers are closer again. It's 2v4, no, 2v5. I'd imagine Cyrus has a negative KD right now, unless he's killed 3 people, but 3 actual enemies. I know he's at least killed 1, maybe 2. Why'd I just hear AT fire? I don't know. They were firing the ATGM off of the Op4 IFV. Let God sort him out. Good God. You got Brewer back here. On his own with the FN Mag, trying his best to cover a window. I could see Blue 4. Ah, there's the remaining 4 guys on the marksman team. They're coming around a different vector after realizing that a lot of their guys got killed off there. Red 4 command, both are dead. So PHK earlier got killed by the Blue 4 AT team. Block was back here. He was part of that 3-man group that flanked around. So they're actually killed off early on. Blue lead getting another kill. Now it's 3v2. They're going to be in disarray. Cheeseburger's going to get a great flank here on Joda. Did he see him? There might have been just enough defilade he didn't see him, actually. We need to see Brewer come out, though, and try to get Overwatch on this area here. Joda getting taken out. Pogo and Cheeseburger showing why they're pretty good players. Now it's just up to Massacre. Brewer doing some suppression. He knocked out Cheeseburger. Now you got some shots over here. Mikkel's battle buddy was taken out. I didn't expect this compound to be so well defendable, but I guess it is today. He's on borrowed time, though, because he got 4 OPFOR guys behind him. Baku, if he sticks his head out, does take some damage. We saw a little blood splatter there. Mikkel doing his best, not covering his left flank. That's going to give Dave the opportunity to take him out. There it is. So now we have an IFV up here firing its coax from an incredibly long range. The rounds are falling a little short, though. I think this is going to be an OPFOR victory, though. We just need OPFOR to find some AT, get in a vehicle, or steal... nope, that gun's disabled because you see how it's sloping down like that. Basically counter that from there. There we go. The IFV rounds are starting to come in. Pogo, he's checking this building that Brewer's in. I don't think OPFOR is going to find that heavy AT because it's out in this corner. And even if they knew it was here, that's a very risky place to go to because it's completely overwatched by that IFV. Brewer poking his head up. Pogo waiting for the prime time to engage Brewer. I don't know if Brewer's crippled. We do see some blood splatter down here, which indicates because blood always goes to the bottom texture of the map itself. He, I think, just fired a few shots on Massacre. What is up with OPFOR not able to PID today? Those are HE rounds. So the IFVs do have HE. Coax raining in again. But at this point, we're just delaying the inevitable. I think this is pretty cut and dry in OPFOR victory because they still have this entire squad over here. So, really, what this came down to was OPFOR was just better at piecemealing off Blue 4 waves, taking them out, and then adjusting their force. It got messy a few times, but they were able to do that where Blue 4 just blindly sent in units, and in my opinion, at times, the wrong units. That AT group should have never been the first group to go into this compound. That group should have been on Overwatch, watching for the IFV, and it was when it was taken out, it should have tried to find clusters of units together to use that AT on. It's like Brewer just took Pogo out, and that's game, guys. I mean, you just have 3 guys in this Vic now. I mean, there's not much else. So OPFOR, by the way, because Blue 4 is down to 5 or less players right now, they have the supremacy bonus, so they have 3 points already on the board right now. I'd imagine this game is going to go 12 points to OPFOR and no points to Blue 4. That could change if they go all the way up to Charlie and camp that, but I mean, OPFOR just has to hold these 2 terminals and they'll win because 3 points, supremacy bonus, 9 points, and then the most Blue 4 could score is 6 by capturing the laptop and holding that zone. That's all they need. Dream, tell me about it. How was your experience for OFCRA today? Yeah, right, Don. I might call it early because if they just go out and hold Charlie, we're just going to have 30 minutes of nothing, and I'm going to be honest, it's pretty obvious who's going to win this one. Because all they need to do is get 1 guy with an N-Law to take that out, and even if the group gets fully wiped, Blue 4 is not going to be able to get those 3 supremacy points unless they kill, like, all of 5 guys, but... Dream, I'm actually in the TFAR channel, so just type it out. We'll get Dream's first-hand account and then go for it. Now, if they head south, no, they're gonna go right up to Charlie. Yeah. But I think this is, I'm gonna probably call this after Dream gives his story, because this is just gonna be attrition. OFCRA has no reason to go do Charlie though, because I'm pretty sure they know they've gotten the supremacy bonus by now. It's gonna go to OFCRA Don, because it's, I mean, let's be honest, guys. Let's do a head count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I counted a skull, but that's because he was right there. 16, 17, 18, 19 guys versus 1 IFV. Like, yeah, it's obvious. So it looks like these guys are going to go for Beta instead. And Beta has an AT guy. The only way I can see OFCRA locking this down is if they find Fleesh and they snipe him, which he is in a bad spot right now. He doesn't know he's in a bad spot, but if Blue 4 comes around from the south, he could easily be flanked and taken out. And I think OFCRA only has 1 AT weapon here. So they could just chill, call for an APC or a group of OFCRA to come in, and then snipe that Vic, because that Vic isn't going to dismount its guys. Oh, you were Blue 4 lat? Yeah, Blue 4 they got spanked. Yeah, right, Dom, thanks. Hey, well, thanks for the raid of 4. What were you doing, man? Yep, there's the shooting at the AT guy. Fleesh quickly going down. He goes into the prone glitch. He's still taking fire. He needs to roll down the hill. Fleesh, roll. No, you were getting shot at. You were in. Oh my gosh, Fleesh, no. Thankfully, the IFV doesn't realize. I think he's prone just enough. That's funny. I thought he was still exposed. But no, IFV did a great job picking out the one guy that they needed to eliminate here. Yeah, guys, if you're taking fire, don't just stand there. Find the closest piece of cover that fully covers you, such as right here. Go prone, radio what's going on, and then bandage. Dream, it's been, I don't want to say cut and dry. It's had some really cool action points, but Blue 4 just got pinsmealed, and they kind of let it happen, unfortunately. Yep, so now they're playing chicken with Fleesh. Now, these guys probably think there's an infantry attack coming as well, but they might send Rizbo out to at least recon the Vic. Sat in place for 20 minutes and kind of died. Yeah, because what was Blue 4's plan in attacking this objective? Because a lot of forces just sat, and that's what allowed OFCRA to piecemeal. I don't really know what they were waiting on. The only thing I could think of is if they were waiting on their IFVs to get in position. You know? It's the only thing I can think of. You have no clue? Alright, that's fair. So if they could somehow get Rizbo's AT, or excuse me, Fleesh's AT up to Rizbo's position, they'd be in a good spot. Because, I mean, he can camp that Vic, and when it gets hit and they all bail, he could easily take them all out, but Murdy's now prone behind a rock. Yeah, no, yeah, that was, I think, the dumbest thing that happened in this round, was sending that AT team as the front team on a compound assault. Which, I get it, it had Nemesis and Nafs, 2 really good players, but regardless of how good the individual player is, you don't want to send an asset like that first. It's just, it makes no sense. You don't fire a Titan AT point blank, you know? Like, fuck. Alright, I'm going to cover this for 3 more minutes, but it's GG here. They just got to get the AT on him. Even if Fleesh dies, they can get another AT group, and I think they're already starting to do... Oh, no. This is a light AT section. So I'd imagine one of these guys has light AT. And they're going to basically come around and try to flank that vehicle. Fortunately, Rizbo's ammo goes in... Ah, yes, the disappearing trick. On some surfaces, if you deploy your bipod, it phases you into the surface. It's pretty funny. Yeah, they're just trying to lock that position down at this point. So I think Roland, this APC, excuse me, this IFV now understands that's the only piece of AT that's here. Because otherwise it would have been taken out by a different vector by now. So it's trying to keyhole HE in there. So they're keeping him suppressed by occasionally firing there, but then he's looking left to see if there's any other movement. That's a really smart play. All right, now the AT needs to do its job. There it is. That one flank distracted the AT long enough. He then reported on the short range, hey, turret's turned away. Amazing play right there. Now Rizbo just needs to come up. Roland surrendered. He's literally on fire. He's screaming, and he eventually gets put out of his misery. Juno managed to take the fire out, but yeah. Whew. Pretty nasty one right there, guys. Don, I think we can go ahead and pay OFCRA out at this point. Unless Juno becomes literal god, which he doesn't even have a fucking gun. I want to see him go up and, like, judo chop Rizbo. I know, paid out, but hey. Let's watch the unarmed guy win here. Let's go. Rizbo, I think, just saw him. I think Rizbo just realized he didn't have a gun. Yeah, Juno just, he's friendly wiggling. Oh my god. Well, GG everyone. We'll be back at 8 o'clock for the POG-OP. Thank you so much for watching. Go operate operationally. Enjoy the rest of your day or night. Cheers, and have a good one.
Yeah, we all did.
I was assuming this